Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So for the most part, you're going to have three things that each player is going to have. They're going to have their knights, which are these little round circulars. You're going to have your bastions, which are neutral pieces. Everybody have a number of these they can play. And you will have your dukes that you'll put out when you're owning an area of the land. So those are kind of the three things that you'll have. Now, on your turn, you're going to have some cards that you'll be able to play. So let's say you have a hand of cards. You'll choose one on your turn and you'll play it down. It's very easy. 41. You look to 41 and you can put your knight down on it. Now, each space, 41's right here, you're going to have three. You're going to have 2 land spaces and a water. So I can choose either land space I want, but I can't go into the water. Now, if red and yellow were already there, let's say that I am blue and that I was playing 41, and I would discard that down, then I could go into the water. Otherwise, I can't go into the water unless both land pieces are taken. Now, in addition, let's say I had a card like 54, and I'm red, and I don't want to spin this. I don't want to go to 54. It doesn't work into my strategic plan. I can discard this card, and I can put a knight down adjacent to where my knight is already. So I couldn't go over here and play it. I could go to 54, but remember, I didn't want to do that. So I can place it adjacent, which is right here to where I already have a knight. So that's pretty much the game. So you're going to play a card, either play it in the number, or discard it and play it adjacent to a spot that you already are. In addition, on a turn, I'm going to have 3 of these in the game. I can only play 3 of these. I can play a bastion down next to one of my knights. And basically what this is going to do, if I zoom in here a little bit, you can see now nobody can go in that area, so it's kind of cut off from everybody else. You'll see why it's important in a second, but I could place that down. Now, what I could be able to do is I could place a duke down, because now I have at least 2 of these here. I can just place that duke there, and that tells you that I control this area. And that's important because maybe I don't want somebody sneaking up on this side to overtake that. For example, if yellow, through game purposes, ended up owning these 3 levels right here, then they could put their own duke out, and this would become one area, and they would take mine off the board. So now they're in control of this area. If later on down the road, red were to add 2 more to the board by game purposes, then you would see that there is 7 in this area, but 4 of them are by red. So yellow would come off, and now red could just be put in this area, and now he has that duck G, if you will. To add one wrinkle to the game, and when the game begins, all these little circles that you see around the board will have these little tokens that will be placed on them. They will all be face down, shuffled up, and randomly put out. I'm only putting a couple here to show you what happens. So the first time that you go next to a church, which is this yellow one right here, you would put a little marker on it to signify that you are in control of that church. Now, as the game progresses, whoever's in charge of the duchy, whoever has the duke here, will take control of the church. So later on, if yellow had taken it over, yellow would put it there, but now it's signifying here, 4 red, 3 yellow, red would have control of it. So when a duke has at least 1 church, you will get one of these bishop tokens. You can put it underneath the duke. It just signifies that you're in control of that bishop. If you hold more bishops than anyone else, you will get the archbishop token, which is this giant thing. This thing will allow you to have a special conversion power. When the player with the archbishop plays a card of an area which already contains a knight of other players, he can replace that knight with one of his own. So let's say yellow had this, and yellow wanted to get into that area there, and let's say it was blocked off with bastions just for illustration purposes. So yellow can't just build here. So what yellow's going to do if he has the archbishop, and he had a 45 card, could give it up and replace that area with his own. When one player has no more knights in their possession, then the game will end and you will score. You will score for each castle that's inside of your duchy, and each church that you have also, and every city that you have. Now, cities are worth different points. This one happens to be worth 4 points. If you have a departing duke, you get 1 point. For any independent duke remaining at the game end is 5 points. And if you have possession of the archbishop at the end of the game, that's an additional 5 points. Whoever has the most is the winner of the game.